Kiss My Chaos. Taking stories of trauma into triumph while living life in the middle and everything in between. All views are expressed solely of the host, guests, and for entertainment purposes only. You don't like it? Well, you can kiss our chaos. Here are your hosts, Abigail Dark and DT Hudson.
I can't believe it's been over a week. Over a week.
Only 1 week?
I think so.
Well, that's good.
I don't know, but it's busy. So much stuff going on in the world, too.
It's my month. It's October. Of course it's busy.
Of course it is. October, you should see this place when you pull up. It cannot be mistaken. And her neighbor has a sign with an arrow pointed to their house that says ditto, and I'm assuming it's referring to the decorations outside.
They had it made this year.
It's hilarious.
In case people don't know me or what I do with that, I'm an insane yard Halloween decorator, and I've only just begun. Actually, I've been quite lazy this year. I haven't done as much as I normally do, and I'll have to amp that up this weekend. But yeah, the neighbors
drive back again because I already thought it looked really good.
Oh, this is nothing. Like, I don't even have lights or any of the things up yet, so it's coming.
Are you gonna put up the little things I made you last year? Mm-hmm. Are you?
The little light things?
Those are cool.
If they still work.
We'll just get some new ones.
I don't know. The wind kind of wreaks some havoc on
Saw that.
everything that
You had
I
a bunch
own.
of down skeletons in the yard there.
Well, some of them were laid down and one of them was forced down. Head broke.
Oh, poor
I
guy.
cried a little bit.
Don't cry. We're going to introduce our guest, and you can't screw it up because we just talked about screwing up our last name.
But if you do, it's okay.
It's Katie Stensgard.
Stensgard.
Yes, that's me. Yay! And you got it right.
Yay.
Yes.
Good job, Abs.
I know, right? Try. I'm super excited to have you on here. You've been, you were recommended very highly through my networking group.
Fun.
Yeah, they were saying, anytime. Well, okay, so I'm a huge martial arts, MMA. I want to be one of those people, although I never will be because I
was
just
going
don't.
to say, come to the gym.
Yeah, well, I have a few other adventures. I'm training for an Ironman, so I'm trying.
That's awesome.
I'll stick on that road for a little while. I know Carter at the academy where my son goes has been trying for me to do Taekwondo, and I'm like, you know what? I'm at that age where I can't remember the moves. They'll show me, and then it's instantly like, oh, brain fog. What happened? Did he do it? Everyone else is doing it. I'm still here watching you, and now I'm watching the other people do it, and I'm like, no, they don't.
That's the last thing the world needs is you with more weapons.
That was actually, I did Taekwondo briefly, and that was my favorite part was the weapons. Yep. I was like, everyone just wants a cool sword. I think that's why most people are there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the nunchucks and all the other cool things.
Yes, the bow staff. I was like, I low-key feel like a Ninja Turtle. I'm not going to lie.
Pretty good with a bow staff.
I did kickboxing for a while, so I liked my guns. Those were my were my weapons.
I like to use my mind and my mouth now because I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Those are also weapons.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Little verbal judo.
But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Maybe we should let Katie tell us a little bit about yourself. So obviously, you're a world champion, Jujitsu.
Mm-hmm.
One doesn't just go I'm going to be a world champion Jujitsu person. So why don't you kind of start from the beginning and tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess it kind of started, I got divorced in 2019. So I was newly single mom of 4 kids, pretty close together. And then right after I got divorced, so I bought a house and we were on our own, and then COVID hit. And I was like, no, it was just one thing after another. And then, quarantine. So I'm at home with these 4 kids. And then I just remember, so I live in a twin home, and the neighbor who who I got to know really well. Like, we got to be really good friends with the neighbors. This, like, they weren't married at the time. This younger work from home, later 20s couple. And so they'd be like, hey, I know you guys are home all day and you have 4 kids, but you know, like, because it was like all internet based, so they'd be on the phone a lot, and they're like, could you keep it down? I'm really sorry. And so got to know them really well, and they're great people. They moved to Florida later. But so anyways, I was like, I need to get them out of the house. Like, they need to run off some energy somehow. So we found Taekwondo for a little bit, and that was fun. And then it just kind of like opened my mind too. I was like, I liked the sparring a lot. But I felt like, so I did like one tournament and I got second place, and it was like to this guy who had really long limbs. And I was like, well, that was fun, but it kind of felt like tag, because the point scoring in Taekwondo is like, well, they touch you and that's a point. And I was like, I could really use something a little more full contact. So,
I love you already.
so I went and I was like, this isn't doing it for me really. And, you know, it was like after divorce and COVID, and I was like, I just need to get some stuff out. Like, just a different way. You know, like, talk therapy is great, but I need to like physically release some things back out into the universe. So I like looked up the Academy of Combat Arts, and I went in for a trial class, and I like didn't even know what jujitsu was. And then so I went in for this trial class, and they're like, oh, you're going to watch, you're going to do it. And I was like, well, I'm here. I'm going to do it. And then I'm like, what is it? Like, what are we even doing here? And so, so it's kind of like wrestling, and you get really close to people. So that was weird at first, because I just remember my first class, they're like you basically hugging this guy's body, and they're like, put your head on his chest. And so I kind of have my head up because it's like weird. And then my coach, who's like a good friend now, he's the owner of the gym, he like pushes my head down. He's like, no, you have to be that close. And I was like, okay, this is weird. But then you kind of break that barrier, and it's pretty awesome. And plus it was after COVID, so you're just like, physical touch, this is amazing.
I always watch, like when I watch MMA fights and when they're, you know, doing the ground and pound kind of stuff.
Yes.
Especially with the jujitsu and the entanglement and all of the things. And I'm like, God, sweaty and like nasty, like up against the other person. Like, was that something you had to kind of get over very quickly?
I know I didn't really have a problem. Like, it was like a little bit the body space issue, but that kind of left pretty, I'd say within a few, maybe a couple months completely. And then it's like, this is going to sound really weird. Like, some of my favorite days are like when we have the garage door open, because it's kind of like in this industrial complex. And so we have a garage, and it opens up, and it's in the summer when it's like 90 degrees and everyone's like sweating, and you're just rolling in other people's sweat. But it's like the best. Like, I went into, and then everyone's just hair is like stuck to their faces. But like, I don't know. It's like not hygienic at all, but it's like my favorite training.
Dan is mortified.
No, I'm not.
You can be mortified. I said it's going to sound weird.
I'm not mortified, because we have to do that. You know, when we do our law enforcement training, we do ground fighting.
Oh,
and
nice.
these are people you work with all the time, and sometimes they're not. And, you know, you never know who you're going to come across, right? On the street as a policeman. Yes. So, you know, you just rotate partners. And someone's birthday today that I share this story with, where I am in her guard.
I know what that means.
Yeah. She's on her back, legs wrapped around me, and all I could do is look into her eyes and say, I'm sorry about the nightmares you're going to have of me tonight. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But no, I get it. I've been there, and we have to do that stuff every year. So
it's great for law enforcement. I have a few friends that train at the gym that are cops.
Sure.
I was like, on a side note, if I ever were to be arrested, I want it to be you guys, because
it's going to be on.
Yeah.
You're like,
I got your point system right here.
They're really funny guys too. And I was like, at least, you know, we would have a good time on the way to jail.
It's amazing how fast a person can tire, though. I mean, you have no idea, fighting on the ground, how quickly you get exhausted. I mean, you're using muscles that you normally don't, and avoiding things, and counterbalance, and trapping arms and legs, and
it's like so nuanced, and you don't even realize it until you do it, like how nuanced it is.
Ew.
I love that you had mentioned about the getting the emotions out. I noticed that with like the contact in kickboxing. Like that just, it felt so good to just like sit there and just get everything out on the bag.
Yes.
You know, because you had the bag work and, you know, some of the other things that they would allow you to do. And then, you know, of course, like I'd go up and they would have me like spar with the guys. And sometimes, you know,
fun.
there's some
Yes.
ego in there sometimes too with the guys, you know, like it's a
definitely.
different, you know, feeling. You're like one of the, you know, 2 women in the gym and you're there for recreational kickboxing. And like some of these guys are like actually wanting to fight and like doing the stuff. And you're like, I don't know, I sell jewelry. Do I want my face black and blue? I have to make a decision here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. No, I know what you mean. It's funny you mentioned that because I probably had like 50 black, like not even kidding, like 50 black and blue eyes. My coach jokes, but it's not even a joke. Like I like to lead with my face. Like I put my face and I was like, oh no, not another one. But it never really bothered me too much. I mean, at work it's a little awkward because I work at a church and I do kids ministry stuff and they're like, but now everyone knows that I train and so they're okay with it. And you know, the kids sometimes are still like, what happened to your face? Because kids are kids. And,
Yeah, you tell them those are the ones that didn't listen. We got into a little scrap. So
You should
Sorry.
see the other guy, you know?
you brought up something interesting because this happens to us all the time. You get that 1 or 2 people that are a little bit overzealous, you know, and nobody wants to get hurt. Obviously, you're there to learn, but there is some pain involved and some compliance.
Yes.
And do you ever come across that when you're training where you get maybe a sparring partner that maybe on a different mindset than you're at and maybe...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like that happens all the time when people are new because they don't really fully understand even like how hard they're going. And I think sometimes like it's almost, you know, like they're like, oh, we're really fighting. Like that survival mode takes over. They're like, this is a real fight. And you're like, no, this is not a real fight. Like, this is us sparring in the gym. So that you see that a lot with new people. But sometimes, yeah, people are like that. It's funny. I feel like those people, like if you're consistently at that level where you're like hurting people and not being a good partner, like those people don't tend to last very long.
Right.
And then there's also like the secret, maybe not secret, mad enforcers where your coach is like, you have the green light, just give them a welcome. And and they don't ever like hurt them, but they like subdue them and, you know, like make them feel pretty helpless and kind of like be like, this is what real control looks like. And yeah.
Little humble pie never hurt anybody.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, sometimes my coach, because I'm I'm a competitor, so I'm kind of aggressive for a female athlete. So sometimes he'll have me welcome some of the male, like the new male athletes, because they think like, oh, it's this like middle-aged woman, like I'm gonna beat her up, and it generally doesn't happen. So
Doesn't work that way.
no, no, it doesn't.
Lord help the men that try to do anything to women that are like middle-aged and angry, you know?
Yes.
We've got a lot to give.
We do, and we don't care anymore. Like that's the thing. Like we don't care.
Yeah, and it's not
Let her buck.
Yeah, exactly.
it's not always love either. You know what I mean?
Well,
Be a little compliance. I think it's terrific, and I think not only for physical but mental discipline in the martial arts, whatever martial arts or whatever type of program you are from, I think it does help with that emotional release, and it helps not only one way but the other way. It's to control it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Controlled contact, things like that. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But for me, it is. It's at the end of the day, I'm tired, not just physically, but mentally, but I feel good.
Yeah. And I think you hit on it too with like the control. Like you learn to regulate your emotions and control them because you can't. I mean, if you're going to go into a fight or a sparring match from an angry place, like you're already out of control, like of not just your emotions, but your body generally. And it doesn't usually end well for you or sometimes your training partner. So you really learn that self-control. And then the cool thing I like about martial arts is like there's so many things that you can take with you, like that control and that regulation, just things that you learn on the mat and like being a good training, like coexisting with others that you just take into real life.
and respect too. I think that was
Yes.
another reason why we got Xander into martial arts was the emotion factor. You know, like he's a young kid, you know, 7, 8, 9 years old, and they have a hard time regulating their emotions and doing the things. So we started the martial arts. so he could learn respect, and he could learn, along with the physical activity and the moves and the things. So the only thing I don't appreciate is when he comes home and tries to try them on his mother, which I'm still getting him, but
Yes.
he's getting older and it's getting harder. I did, the one thing I liked about the martial arts or the kickboxing too is like your reaction. Like it teaches you to be able to react very quickly. So like if somebody were to come at you, like it's an auto response. Like you have learned this in that sense. My husband learned the hard way. I was taking a shower and just doing the normal daily routine sort of thing. And all of a sudden, like I have a kind of a white and black shower curtain, and you can somewhat see like a silhouette go through it, kind of like Psycho. So, like you look at him on the opposite side, I'm in the shower washing my hair. And then all of a sudden there's this head that pops into the shower that has a Jason mask on. And I just went poof, and I just automatically just popped him because I was like, ah! And I just popped him in the face. And he was like, why? Like, what would you, I'm like,
Although, to be fair, if anyone popped in the shower with a Jason mask, I think that's pretty justified.
I agree. Definitely justifiable. You must have been running late because
well,
you were taking a shower and you're a bath person.
I take my baths at night. That's my like quiet
Fair.
time, and that's where I hide from my family for like an hour. And I lock the door, and no one's allowed in there. That's
I get
my
that
time.
as a mom.
Oh, it's my time. But so here's the sad thing. Then my son, after my husband does this, like literally 5 minutes later, I'm drying my hair. I have my head down and the towel is over my head and I'm drying my hair. And as soon as I look up, there's this thing with a Michael Myers mask on. And I immediately like push it against the, side of the wall, and my kid's yelling at me. And I'm like, why would you do that? Did you not just learn from your father that was a bad idea? Like,
That's funny. He's like, it's a different mask. It's not Jason.
Yeah. No, they're not smart.
If you're in the bathroom,
Stay out.
I like
Lesson learned.
I like to defend my homies here, but I don't really have a defense for them at this point. No contest. Leave mom alone in the bathroom. Get your butt kicked.
Right. Everyone learned a lesson that day. Yes.
So I'm curious. Obviously, when you started this, you were hooked. You loved it. How did you progress in it?
So I think I had been doing it probably almost a year when there was like a local competition. And then I was like, I'll do it. Some friends talked me into it. I hadn't really, I'd been an athlete growing up, but I hadn't really competed for myself or done anything for myself for a while. As a parent, you get it. You kind of all about the kids. But then after the divorce, I was kind of like, I need something to be okay. And I need... So I did the competition, and I think I won. Oh, actually I did. So I was a white belt, which is like the beginner belt, and the next belt is blue belt. And there was no one in the white belt division. And I was like, I'll just go in the blue belt division. And so I did okay. I didn't win. But now one of my best friends today, that's how I met her. We competed and she choked me out. And I'm like, oh, you bow and arrow choked me the first time that we met. But we've gone to Worlds and done all these big competitions together now. And she's one of my best friends and also a single mom. So that's another cool thing is you meet a lot of like-minded people with, same but different backgrounds. Everyone's there for their own reasons.
Sure.
So I like the competition because it kind of simulates just hard, stressful things, but in a controlled environment and lets you work through it. And it in my past life, I did rock climbing and snowboarding, so I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. And so I was like, oh, it gives me that little shot of adrenaline that I really like. So I did okay. And then I had a teammate, Justin Lurman, who was there's this really big competition in Las Vegas every year. It's the Masters World. It's for Masters people over 30, but you compete with people around the world. And he's like, I think you would be really good. You're I have a pretty aggressive style that translates well to competition. So he's like, you should do it. So so I did go that year. I got my blue belt. I think I'd been a blue belt for 3 or 4 months. So new blue belt. I went out there. One of my friends, Robert, was supposed to go with me, and then he had some life stuff happen, so he couldn't go. So I was like, oh, I'll just go by myself. So I went out there. It was cool. I trained at this gym, Extreme Couture, one day, who trains a lot of like UFC fighters. And so then I ended up training the day before I competed with this Mandy Monster. She's like a current UFC fighter. Okay. And then she was like, oh, like, you're a really good training partner. If you're ever back in town, like, come look me up. And so I was like, oh, this is already a cool experience. And then I competed the next day, and I took third. I didn't win it the first year. I took third. I only lost to the woman who won the whole thing in my weight division. And then so IBJJF is the organization that puts these things on. They have this thing where if you make the podium in your weight division, you can go to the absolute division, which is open weight. So all the third place and up from all the other divisions with the same belt rank and age division can go. So my friend Justin, like, he was calling me in between everyone. And he's like, you should do the absolute. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of tired. I don't know. And then he's like, no, do it. You went all the way to Vegas. And I was like, fine, I did go all the way to Vegas. So then I did that one, and then I made it to the finals and ended up taking second there and only lost to, she was like super heavyweight. So she had some pounds on me. And, but yeah, it was a good match, and I like had her in a triangle and lost it. She was like throwing it off, and I was like, oh, you're so strong. But it was like a really good match. And so then after that, I feel like that was kind of like my, like, coming out party in jiu-jitsu. Like, everyone kind of knew who I was. Like, prior to that, I had not competed at the world level. And then so after that, the next year I went back and I won my weight division and I won the absolute division. So I got double gold. And then it was at that point that my friend Ian Harmon approached me, and he's like, we think your story is inspirational and we want to make a movie about you. And so then they made a movie about me, and like going back in 2024, and then I actually won it again. So that was cool. And they were making a movie at the same time. Like, all this was going on in 2024.
Okay, so like your kids, like, you're a movie star mom. Like, this is really cool. Like, my mom can kick your mom's ass kind of like feel.
Kind of, yeah. There was actually, I forget, I think it was Vivian, one of my kids, wrote this thing in school one time about their mom, and like, my mom could beat the other mom. I was like, maybe let's not say that at school.
It's better than the snow shovel one where the lady works at Lowe's, but it looks like she's on a stripper pole.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's handing money to her.
This is my mom.
It's like, I assure you that is not what
I have not seen that one, but it sounds amazing.
It is. It
yeah.
is.
But the kids are in the movie, and they thought it was cool. And then they had this big premiere at the Fargo Theater on September 5th. And, you know, the producers were there, who Ian is one of the producers. He's also a teammate at the ACA. But like all my teammates, and we did a panel with Kevin Wallivan, and my kids were there, and that was cool because they got to see themselves on the big screen.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Where can someone see it now?
They are, so one of the producers, Derek, just messaged me last week, and so they're looking to have other showings. So far there's only been the one showing at the Fargo Theater, and then he said there were talks with a streaming company. He didn't say which one. So at some point you can be able to stream it.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Did you feel like pretty awesome when they were like, hey, we want to do this with you? Like, what was the feeling where you're like, I kind of accomplished something pretty big here?
Yes. Yeah. But yes, for one. And then at the same time, I was like, oh, there's a lot of pressure. And of course they're like, no pressure. Like, even if you don't win, it's still a good story. And I was like, but I want to give you the good ending. I mean, I suppose like it's still a good story. I still, you know, like got double gold the 1 year, but luckily I won. I was like, this is the better ending, but there's still a point to be made, even if I didn't.
My first thought would be, are they coming to my house and do I need to clean it?
No, they did come to my house, but yeah, no, they're like real life.
Anytime we do a podcast, it's like, oh, my house is dirty, and it's never once been dirty.
My house is very dirty right now.
I'm like, it looks fine to me, but I'm also a mom of 4 kids, so I'm like, you know.
Well, I have clutter. I mean, I'm trying to sell this like ridiculous fireplace that's sitting here that just collects dust and more things on top of it, which is fine, but
counter space.
It's fine. Yeah,
absolutely. It sounds like you found a ladder and you climbed it, and that's pretty amazing, because it's really easy to just stop climbing the ladder and be content. And just in the short time that I've met you now, which has been 23 minutes and 31 seconds.
But who's counting?
Yeah, I mean, it's clear, you know, you can pick out an achiever. And clearly that one rung on the ladder was not enough. And I mean, the inspiration that you're not only for yourself, like you said, you were doing this, but think of the kids looking at us like, that's that's my mom.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it's cool too, because you know they train, but it's something that they choose for themselves, and so I feel like, you know, like we do this together, but then they have things they like doing by themselves. So it's kind of like we appreciate things together, but I'm not also like trying to live through them. Like I do the jujitsu for me, but then I also support them in their endeavors. And so it's kind of, yeah, it's a cool, because they've competed before. They're not super into competition. I'm like, you know, that's okay. That's not for everyone. So it's just fun to do it with them.
Mm-hmm.
What were the nerves like before going to Las Vegas?
They were it was probably more so like I'm used to the nerves of competing, and I kind of have this ritual I go through where I'm like, I try and release myself from the results, because it can't be about the winning and the losing. Like you can't just hang your hat on that. So I just kind of focus on, you know, like I have this life that I love. I love my kids and my gym friends and my job, and no matter what, I get to go back to that. So that's what I try and focus on when I go out there, and they're just kind of like, well, now, you know, like that's taken care of. What do I want to do on the mats here? So I did it. That being said, it was a lot of nerves, because, you know, like I'm being followed around by a camera crew.
For sure.
Right.
So I was a little used to it by that, because that was like the last big thing they needed to shoot. They'd been filming my life. I think they started like early 2024, and then this was in August. So that was the last thing. But by then, like I, you know, competed a time or two. I was used to it. I'd done a Muay Thai. I actually won a Muay Thai belt in June. I took up striking, and then I think I've been doing it 6 months, and I like won a Muay Thai belt, and I was like, oh, that was fun. So I don't know, just new challenges are fun sometimes.
I love how you're like so nonchalant. Like, I just got this belt and I did this. And
Yeah, I got kicked and I got to kick.
Right.
It was like,
But I was like, oh, also like getting punched hurts way more than jujitsu.
yeah, I would imagine so. And
This
the people
yeah.
punching you, you know, kind of know what they're doing too.
Yes,
So
yes, they do. And it's, you know, it's kind of your first fight. It's weird because you're like, you've obviously sparred hard, but it's not like a real fight. And you're like, oh, that's what it's like when someone is, you know, like really punching you.
Right.
Yeah. But
Have
it was
you
fun.
ever been afraid that someone was going to like legit break your limb with like an arm bar or something that
right.
comes along?
I haven't been, I guess. I mean, it happens. It hasn't happened to me in competition, thank goodness. But no, usually like I feel most of the time the people who compete, especially as you get higher up in levels, like are pretty controlled. You know, like they'll give you time to tap.
Sure.
Sometimes people don't do that, but I feel like that's more at the beginning levels where they're like, I'm just going to go all in on this. And you're like, no, there actually are breaking mechanics. Like it will break if you, yeah. Keep going. Yeah. I actually just had a teammate. We had a teammate last week that got his ankle broke in a couple places from, yes.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Yeah. Well, it was a visiting, you know, like no ill will, someone from a visiting gym, blue belt, I believe, but he did an illegal move, and we're like, oh, that's why it's an illegal move, because
Yeah, it'll break something real fast.
yes, it was like a jumping takedown.
Ooh.
Yes,
Well, yeah, that would, if you're not positioned correctly.
right,
would-
and it like folded his leg, and he
Yeah.
broke his fibia, I believe. So yeah, it happens, but most of the time it's like you trust. I mean, that's why you trust your training partners, and sometimes, especially as a woman, I feel like some of the newer guys, you're like, I'm gonna wait until you're a little more controlled, and so we always say you can say no to anyone in the gym you don't even have to tell them reason at any time.
Well, I know if you like are on top of someone and you have your hands like this, it's if you don't even simply turn your hand over, this is going to snap on your radius or something like that, because that's something that you want to go slow, right? With everything you do, you want to go slow and get the motions down, because it's it's a horrible sound. Put it that way. It never happened to me, but
I've been at tournaments where you've heard it before, and you're like, oh. Yeah, or sometimes they'll put it on the Instagram and they won't warn you, and you're like, I didn't want to hear that.
Didn't
Like,
need to see
why?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
speaking of that, like one of the first MMA fights that I attended in town here, I sang the national anthem, and I went and I got like, you know, this is back, I went and got something to drink, and I was sitting kind of at the judges table, like no one told me, didn't think anything of it, and they were doing the they were in the middle of the fight and doing the stuff, and he had him on, had him down, and he was doing the ground pound thing, and then like he got a really good punch in there on the nose, and then the blood just went like right at me in my drink. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, don't sit too close.
Yeah.
People pay for this? Like,
They do. They do.
I was like,
And now you're hooked, right?
ew.
Yeah.
But
You love it. Don't say you don't.
well,
Because
I
just something
thought it was
about it.
interesting. I mean, like, to me, I was like, man, that was a really, that was a good hit. Like you hear the crunch and you hear the things, and you
Yes.
you're
Actually, I
supposed-
guess I did break my hand in my MMA fight. I like thinking about that. Like on her face, because skulls are hard.
yeah, that'll do that.
I was like, oh, a little lower would have been good, but yeah.
that's why you lead with your head.
Yes, yeah, much safer.
Your head's hard. It's harder to
It
break.
is. Yes, yeah. Obviously, she won on that one, the hard head, and
Well, I think it's interesting because size matters, but sometimes size doesn't matter. Like watching MMA for me is kind of fascinating because there's so much physics going on. I mean, yeah, there's ground and pound and stuff, but you par up a martial artist with a collegiate wrestler, and it's immediately to the ground with them. I mean, they have a whole different philosophy, and I think that's interesting watching those two cultures, I guess, collide.
Yeah, and I think you actually see like a lot of wrestlers go into MMA because it's so, like to have that background, it's so helpful. But then also, you need the striking and the jujitsu. And I actually have a friend, he trains at the academy now, Cannon Swanson, and he had that background. And he's been super successful because he, had the wrestling background, but then he came in and he embraced the jujitsu and he embraced the striking, and he didn't just rely on his wrestling background. And I think that's kind of the key, like if you're going to bring wrestling in and be successful or not. It's like the open-mindedness.
Right. That's why I loved watching like Hoist Gracie, because he was like half the size of some of these guys, and it didn't look like he was doing anything, and they were begging him to stop.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Or like,
I
I don't know if you watched the early UFCs, like UFC 1, 2, like kind of before, like they're like, you do this, and everyone kind of had their own, it was like one martial art they did, and they're like, we'll see how these martial arts pair up together. And
Dan Severn, and all he does is like axe handle pounds people into the ground like a hammer and a nail.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, but some of them you're like, that guy is really huge. So
For
it
sure.
was interesting.
well, it definitely took off. I mean, as a sport, and the dedication it takes, and I mean, how do I put it? The way it's promoted is like one step above like professional wrestling. It's not professional wrestling, don't get me wrong, but the way it's promoted though, and it's like, oh, they have a big beef. They might or may not have a big beef. I mean, maybe there is.
Yeah, I think sometimes, but some, like you look at like Conor McGregor, who is super successful, but it's because of his personality. So you're kind of like WWE, like how much of that is real and how much of it is to make money and for show and all that stuff.
To get fights and fabricated.
Yes, because people love that. Like everyone loves drama. Maybe not having drama, but watching other people's drama is entertaining.
Always.
Yes.
I got your drama here with these fists. I tell you, I will tell you, it's kind of funny because one of the greatest days of my life as a cop is I got to be part of it was WCW Nitro when they're at the Fargo Dome, and I got to be part of the show and put handcuffs on Roddy Piper. Rest in peace, Roddy Piper.
That's so fun.
People were throwing popcorn and beer at us, and I was just giggling the whole time. It was the greatest day of my life. And we get backstage. And he's like, oh, God bless you. Thank you so much for being part of the show. He's just like the kindest guy, and about like a foot shorter than me. I mean, he was not a big man, but his personality was out of this world. So yeah, I got to meet a lot of that crew back in the day, and some were okay and some were, well, they were dicks. So.
Yeah, I feel like that's like any sport, or like some of you okay, some of you not so much.
Yeah, Diamond Dallas Page, super guy. Super guy.
Nice. Who
Really.
didn't you like?
Well, some of the people were just like very standoffish, and we were only allowed to go to a certain point because they had their buffet and stuff set up, and that's fine. They're like, oh, come on back here, and it's like you'd be back there and you get the stink eye from somebody, but like the big names, they really didn't have much time for anyone really, but Roddy Piper did, and who else was there? Oh, Bill Goldberg. Nice guy. I mean, I mean, mean guy. No, he was very
not nice.
personable.
Yeah.
They were very supportive of law enforcement and military and all that. So it was a cool night. And then I was out directing traffic after that. I'm like, oh,
This is anticlimactic.
yeah, I know. It's like I was just on. It's like I called my wife. I'm like, put the tape in the VCR. That's how long ago that was.
Yeah.
And
I remember those days.
I
Yeah.
literally have a video on my phone of it, a video of a video. Because that's how I could preserve it. So
Amazing.
it was cool.
You know, I think every woman should go through one of those classes, like even just self-defense or, you know, just to utilize that or to have that under their belt, I guess.
Yes.
You could say.
Yeah.
Like you do more than just compete. Tell us a little bit more about your newest adventures.
Yeah. I was like, it's funny you mentioned the self-defense. So I have a friend from the gym, Marissa Hodgeness, and then we have another friend, Amy. So we kind of got together, and Marissa's had this idea. She wanted to start a nonprofit. She's a social worker. Sure. So she wanted to offer jujitsu to like women and children leaving abuse. And so and then she kind of coupled it. I was like, well, let's just have this whole program. Like, let's just set up this thing, an organization that helps women and kids leaving abuse go from surviving to thriving. And so like jujitsu is going to be one of the programs, but we hope to have more. There's going to be like group sessions and art therapy. And we're just doing a lot of stuff with that. So like one of our first events that we're doing is a self-defense clinic. Dylan Spicer, who runs the Academy of Combat Arts, my coach, he actually went on to North Dakota today with us and did a few self-defense moves. But anyways, he's a longtime martial artist, over 25 years of experience, and he does kind of self-defense clinics all the time. So he's actually doing one for us on October 26th from noon to 2, and it's a free will donation. So open to the public, women's only. But you, show up, throw in what you want. If you can't, that's fine too. And it's in support of the Uprising. That's our organization, what it's called. And so, and then from there, we just kind of, we've been going for a few months now. So we're getting all our programs and events started up. So we're going to have a program. There's actually an interest form on our website, which is theuprisingproject.org, where you are going to get, free to discounted membership. We'll pay it for so many months for you to get plugged into jujitsu, because the self-defense seminar is really nice, but like you said, it's the muscle memory, knowing that you're not going to freeze in a situation.
Right.
So obviously the more training you can get, the better. And then it's just, like talking through those scenarios. So like if someone grabs you, it's like not going to be the first time is like when someone's grabbing you to hurt you. It's like, oh, someone grabbed me in the gym and I worked through this, and it kind of gives you the confidence to know that you can work through it when you need to, and you're not just going to like freeze up.
And you can automatically use that, like in certain things, like you won't have to think about it anymore.
Yes. It's very
like when someone
reaction.
does that now, you'd have to think like, oh, I was supposed to put my hand here.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
here, so like,
Yeah.
you don't have time to think about those things when that is happening.
No.
And I mean, just for the masses listening, I mean, think about it. It's not just for abuse survivors. It could even be for
anyone.
People to prevent getting kidnapped, young daughters, girls growing up, to just grow in confidence, for one, get their power back, number 2, and number 3, to be able to defend themselves in a situation that, if they were, say they were put into a sexual situation that they felt they couldn't get out of at the time, then they would be able to defend themselves against that. Or even, a sudden kidnapping if they were, going, at a baseball game or whatever, could be the situation. There's just so many different avenues that could go down. And it's amazing that you're doing that. Like a woman, walk us through it. So a woman, obviously, if you've never done something like this before, it can seem, like you had said, incredibly intimidating.
Yes.
So walk us through how you would approach that. A new person walking into the gym, they're like, maybe not in the best of shape. They're nervous, they're scared. Maybe they're even young. How do you get them through
Yeah, well, and that's kind of why we say women's only, because I think that's one of the barriers a lot of times at the martial arts gym. It's very male dominated, and that for a lot of women can be very intimidating, especially if you're leaving a situation, an unhealthy or toxic or abusive relationship. You're not looking to train with a bunch of men. And even if that's not the case, it's, intimidating.
Or maybe you are and you want to just beat the crap out of them.
Leave that man alone. Yeah. So, so it's women's only environment. So that's, conducive to training. And, Dylan has been doing self-defense seminars for a long time. And he said, it's everyone cries on the mat. There's no shame in it. Because sometimes, you're working through something and you're like, oh, this was done to me. And there's some emotions with it, that's fine. Even, not just if you've been through abuse or not, like everyone cries on the mats because it's frustrating and it's humbling and it makes you confront certain things about yourself or your past. And so, we're all working through stuff. I would say, it's scarier until you actually do it with this. Life is like that a lot. So for a lot of people, just showing up initially is the battle. And then once they get there and they start doing it and see what it actually is, they're like, oh, I kind of like this. It's not that bad. So, so just showing up. We are blessed at the gym right now to have, like I said, Marissa, who's my partner in the Uprising. We both train at the Academy of Combat Arts, and we're blessed to have a large women's community, which isn't always the case for martial arts gyms, but it's definitely a sign of a healthy community, like a large women's population in your martial arts gym. So, I would say come check us out. If it doesn't work for you to go to the seminar, we do on our website, theuprisingproject.org, we're going to have like signups for programs and stuff. So if you want to do jujitsu through us, there'll be a sign up for that. Otherwise, like if you are anyone, man, woman, child, and you want to just train, check out the Academy of Combat Arts. Lots of times people just walk in and, people off the street all the time, like, I want to train. And and we'll help you out. So
do they have like one free session kind of thing where you can come in, or
3, I believe, three free sessions. So
nice.
You get to try out because it's jujitsu, and we also do kickboxing, and then there's MMA, which is invite only, but there's a little bit of boxing, and so something for everyone. We do have just regular women's only classes, and then there's the regular, like mixed co-ed classes. So
I think the notion of this nonprofit is brilliant because there's some organic things that are going to occur.
yes.
You're going to get a socialization, and to me, I'm not a sociologist, or a doctor. But for me, if I was in that situation here, you may have some like-minded people now in the same exact situation, and you may have been isolated, and now you're with a group of people that you may be able to relate with. I could see where that would be very important.
Yes. Well, that's one of the things we say that, like often a tactic of abuse is to isolate. And so you heal by being part of a community, like a healthy community. And so that, and then also just martial arts, I think, builds that because of the trust factor with your training partners. And then, like you said, like there's going to be other women with shared experiences and backgrounds. And so sometimes that's nice. Like you don't even have to explain certain things. You're like, oh, like you just get it. So.
Right. And how invaluable is that? I mean, it's hard to find. I mean, it's a different kind of therapy.
Right. It is. And that's like a lot of us are there. Like everyone's walking their own journey, but like I talked about in my story, like after the divorce, I went to regular therapy, but I was like, it's great, but it's like not completely doing it for me. I think, like having a physical outlet is another, it's like actual therapy. It's getting it out of your body. It's helping you regulate, taking down your stress levels. So with that, we want to have down the road, art therapy is another thing we want to do. We want to do, like obviously we're not therapists, but we still want to do like a group kind of talk therapy. Like the connection factor again, like we mentioned, like shared experiences. We're going to start doing as one of our events, like an Ask a Lawyer. I know a lot of times leaving a situation can be hard and, finances are an issue. So, we'll have like a free lawyer consult and we're hoping at some point, like once we get going, to actually be able to offer some financial assistance. And then other things like pet care, like women sometimes, like stay in situations because they don't have anywhere for their pets to go. So we'll have people that'll watch their pets while they leave and they get safe and they get back on their feet.
That's so cool because, I mean, you're assisting with the whole notion here is you're assisting with a direction, but they're making the path.
Yeah, like we're
that's cool.
Walking with them.
They're investing in themselves once again, finally.
Yes, yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
like I can't walk for you, but I can walk beside you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I knew. I was like, because I thought the same thing. Yeah, I got it.
I think like right now too in the community, especially in the Fargo community, there's a lot of hot talk about, the law enforcement versus, domestic abuse. And so where those two things come together and how they can work together. So as part of the nonprofit, have you guys ever thought about being able to work with law enforcement and saying like, obviously a lot of women that are in domestic abuse situations are not going to be forthright with law enforcement right away.
Right.
They're going to defend,
Yeah.
the person they're with. They don't want them to hurt their children, or they don't, there are things that can't be said to law enforcement at that time where if they were to react, it would be very poor for the person in that
For them.
situation.
Yeah.
So I wonder, being myself coming from that situation, being in domestic abuse and things, and I never had law enforcement involved, but my parents would like batter, like talk to me about it, like, hey, I'm like, no, if I say something, like this is going to go worse for me. So I wonder if there's a way, even in the nonprofit where you guys could work with law enforcement, to come up with something even in the area of Fargo where, a communication could be done silently.
Yes. Yeah. We would love to do that. I know one thing that we talked about is partnering with law enforcement with, like obviously want to have like the Ask a Lawyer. So maybe like finding a law firm or two to partner with that, could aid people with the legal matters, like,
Right.
cause like that's part of the battle. Sometimes they're like, well, I can't, like I'm going to get myself in trouble, or, like kids are a factor, or just different things like that. And then I know there's other organizations that already exist that are actively fighting abuse. So, like we have been talking about, community is important. So we would love to be able to partner with all of those organizations and just network. Cause I think it's kind of those, like one of the better together.
Absolutely.
So,
100% better together. Resources, more resources, and good nonprofits. You'll find around here there's a lot of terrific nonprofits. You get out in the world and there's some sketchy ones.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, there definitely are. But
And we've come across them in the past through our nonprofit, and it breaks my heart because it's all talk, no action, or just making money for something. I don't even know what they do with it. And we've been very fortunate to find a couple of very good nonprofits that are established that,
Absolutely.
we walk right beside each other, just like you guys are doing.
yeah,
And I feel like a good one that you guys could pair with is, I don't know if you've heard of Styled by Strength.
yeah, someone else, I think my friend Alicia told me about it, and
That seems like a great partnership because I know like a lot of women will be able to like silently go in there and be like, hey, like, and then they get them out of the situation or
Right.
assist them. But it would be nice to be able to send them to gain their confidence to stay out of that situation and to build a new life and to be able to, defend
Right.
themselves if they needed to.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I know like one of our goals is like within a year to have a physical location to do some of our programs, like the art therapy and the group meetings and things like that.
Absolutely.
But actually when we sat down and we did like our vision casting and our planning, we were like, like long term, 10 years or however how many years down the road, we would love to have like a farm and do agro-tourism and have like little cabins and places where, you could stay, maybe not forever, but like while you get back on your feet. And then we'd have different jobs there that, you could make money and we'd help you. And then it's kind of one of those things that women that you help tend to come back and maybe they move on and maybe they don't, but usually some, like it's like kind of like the mentor program. Like a lot of times, like women that leave those kind of situations have the mentality that you know, like someone pulled me out of the fire and now I'm going to be that hand that reaches back and pull the next person out.
They've invested in themselves on the program. And
Yes.
there's, you know, your story is not much different, where it's like, this is what I've experienced through the belt ranks, things like that. I'm sorry if it's not ranks. Did I get that wrong?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the rings. I was like, no, it's right.
Don't hit me.
Yeah.
But as you do that, I mean, investing in yourself, it's like, look, I've been there. I mean, literally been there. And when someone has been there, and I find this through the music world, because we do a lot of music and we do some art stuff too. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to physically show that you've done it, that's why we do performances. We don't do performances for fun. I mean, they are fun, but we're just like, look, we're up here doing it. You can too.
Right.
That's it. And to me, this notion, this idea, this vision that you have, brilliant. I think it's brilliant because it's not complicated. It just makes sense. And there are places available for such a thing locally, like old Bible camps and things like that. Yeah.
I actually saw there was like this farm in I think it was Argusville, and I was like, Dylan, who's like the owner of the ACA, I was like, do you want to borrow Marissa and I $500,000? He's like, no.
Well, actually, so here's a fun tidbit. So Mariah Prussia, actually, like that is her vision.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know
your guys' vision boards are like
they're pretty
exactly the same on that.
We have we have a lot of mutual friends. I've never met her. When I went on the Jay Thomas show, he's like, you need to be on Mariah Prussia's show.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I know my friend Cody, who was like one of my main training partners, a good friend. He trained with her, I think it's husband now, right? Because he had like a fight coming up, and so. But I've never actually met her. But I feel like we have so many like common like connections or just people in common.
Yeah, the community is probably not massive, but you do get to know people.
I mean, she's like the strongest, meanest chick chasing chickens right now. Like she's just like she's a badass with roosters and chickens. Like,
what's the name of that little chicken that she had?
Oh yeah, the special one.
The special one.
Aww.
Yeah,
I don't remember the one with the like that couldn't walk.
Yeah.
She has a heart of gold though,
Yeah,
and like
does.
her vision. She had talked about wanting to be able to have people come out there as a retreat and to be able to work through those things and live off the land and like plant.
She does that with children. She
Yes.
teaches them how to self-sustain.
Self-sustain.
I know what you mean.
Abby put something special in my tea again. I can't feel my tongue.
Welcome to my house.
Sustainable children. How about that?
Yeah.
And she did. When she walked us around, she had just endured a very bad storm. That was an EF5 tornado that came through Enderlin, and they got clipped by part of that. And she luckily had damage, but it didn't hit the house and things like that. But she was kind of walking Abby and I around, showing us what her vision was. And
that's very cool. And nature is so healing, and just working with your hands and like reconnecting with the earth and just it for a lot of people, like you're kind of just being out in nature. And so it's like one of the programs we help to offer, but then there's just so much you can do with it. So we're like, it's a little ways down the road. First things first.
I'm just so excited for you because you're a doer. You're like action oriented type of person. And I feel like you would not speak publicly about it if you weren't like, no, this is happening.
Yeah. And that's like the other two women that are partnering on this with me are the same. And so Marissa and I were like, because we have a lot of personal life stuff going on. We're like, our personal lives are falling apart, but we're still out here starting this nonprofit.
It's kind of a therapy in itself, and we find that too. I mean, regardless of what's going on. I mean, our nonprofit started in 2019, and some days it's just like I need to go do this for a while, and and it's just like it's grounding. Yeah, because then you're looking at people in need and actually doing something. Right. So, and it's weird, partnering with a nonprofit is brilliant too, finding good ones, because we were just able to donate 39 brand new wheelchairs to the honor flight.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that nobody else wanted them, and Cargill reached out to us like, can you find a home for these? I'm like, yeah, I know exactly where they need to go. And the guy that's going to pick them up, he's like, oh my God, thank God, because the ones that we have now are so heavy, heavy. So they'll be picking those up.
I selfishly wanted you to keep 5 of them for a wheelchair race. Okay.
You could have had one.
That's fine. We had to give them all.
Did I say
they all needed it. They needed it more than our wheelchair race. Like,
did I say 34?
oh, perfect.
I know you want to have wheelchair races, and I got a good hill at my place, as you know.
Ooh.
We could pick up some
Well, it is
steam.
the honor flight. They have to get on the flight, right? So they'll have to leave the wheelchairs. Like,
I don't know how it works.
I just need them back for a day.
You're not going to shoplift the wheelchairs.
kidding.
Another terrific organization, so I'm very grateful to partner with them as well. So,
It's amazing.
yeah, I lucked out on that one.
Yeah, one is cool too. I think, you always, not that that's why you do it, but you always get something out of helping others. Like that in and of itself is therapeutic. And lots of times I think sometimes we get so self-focused. It's nice to be like, I am not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about this other person. And it kind of brings your own life into focus and perspective too.
Well, yeah, I mean, after doing that, I can sit out on my porch and I'm like, I'm really grateful today. I'm really grateful, not for what we're doing, but I'm just really grateful for the life I have, because it can go the other way. It's been the other way. So I get it. And it's not being unhumble. It's action. And you know me, Abby will attest. I was like, words are words. I want action. I want to see some changes. I want to see some physical changes. I mean, I'm all about awareness. You got to have that too. But what are we doing with it?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely. And I think the world needs people like that just are like, my dad's kind of like that too. That's probably where I saw it modeled. He's like, I'm going to go to the Philippines and build a mission. And then he just does it. And then you're like, you're there now. Okay.
They're like, great.
But
Awesome.
yes.
Haven't seen you in a while, Dad.
Where you at?
I never know where he is. He has so many like projects and
Good for him.
It's cool. Yeah. Yes.
Well, Katie, if you could tell, like, if there was somebody in a bad situation right now, listening to this, looking for inspiration, if you could say one thing to them, what would you tell them right now?
I would say focus on the next actionable step that you can take right now to make your life better. So, we're talking about abuse. Maybe you can't leave, but there's different things that you can do maybe to get ready to leave. Or maybe you just don't like where your life is at. Like, what's one thing that you can change? Like, maybe you need to start exercising, or maybe, eating right. Or there's always like one thing. Lots of times when you think about change, if you think about where you want to get, it's daunting, because you're like, well, that's years down the road. And then we don't even start because we look at the end goal and it seems so unattainable. But if you just focus on the next thing, like everyone can do that, and just focus on the day that you're on. Because I found with hard things, it's like almost unbearable if you're looking at you, like, I don't know when this like hard life situation, fill in the blank, is going to end. But if you're like, this is what I need to do today, this is what I'm grateful for today, and check that off the box, and then let tomorrow take care of itself, like that's doable for everyone, I think.
That's terrific advice. And it's
Absolutely.
it's not an easy step. Once you make that step, you've taken a step in the right direction.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Right. And we say like, some days you're running and some days you're crawling, but both is going forward. So.
Oh, I love that.
I'll crawl.
Well, I like to run now. So.
I know. I know. I did this 5K the other day, and she's, are you tired and sore? I'm like, no, I walked.
I did a 5K last night.
Which
no
I
sweat.
know, I heard.
Nice.
Which for me, it wasn't about the race, but of course, 10 feet from the finish line, I sprinted it just to beat all the other people walking.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's why I just love the triathlon stuff. It's, it's moving.
I'm glad
I
you
have
found
to
it.
keep moving on to the next things.
I'm
Right.
glad you found it. It's called your middle. You find your middle, your own identity. You're rediscovering your identity after living for everybody else. You got to have that, because you can give that up so quick and you lose your identity.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if I'm insane.
My identity is really messed up.
Same.
Why does my identity so expensive?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Mine too.
Yeah.
Well, your identity is identical to my husband's identity.
For sure.
So I know how expensive
And
that is.
we all know Andy's never wrong, even with his black eye.
Yep.
So yeah, well, by the way,
Thanks
by
for
the
making
way,
me the abuser now. Like,
No.
I'm like, what is his
No.
hobby? He loves guitars.
He does.
Yeah. He's
by the way, we already know if you're a fight or flight person, clearly, and Xander and your husband can attest to that. You're clearly not well, you didn't really have anywhere to go. I mean, you're in the shower.
No, I am definitely a fight person because I'm like, you know what? If this is it, I'm going out this way.
You can just see this poor guy, though. I mean, I'm sorry, Andy, but it's kind of your fault. You know, it is your fault. But I can just see him. Why? Why?
Yep.
Why?
His face.
Yeah.
Like, I've said it for a long time. God help the person that pisses me off. Like, the guy that tries to attack me or do something. Like, you have no idea how many years of pent-up rage I have.
You're like, I've been waiting for this.
Please. You know, like, sometimes you're walking and they're like, why don't you have pepper spray? And I'm like, I don't need it.
No, you wish you would
Waiting
have got
for
pepper spray.
years.
Pepper spray works amazing on me, by the way.
I can't even imagine the face of the person that would do that. And they would be like, are you happy that I'm doing that? Like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I don't know what it is about the women of this community, but they are scrappers.
We're
I
scary
married-
here
I
in
married
Fargo
one
Moorhead.
My wife grew
yeah.
up. My wife grew up in a jail because her dad was the sheriff, and that was when the sheriff lived at the jail, and she would play with inmates. And
That's hilarious.
And her nickname became the Badger because she will fight you like a badger. And
suppose.
she. I love you, darling.
I love Ange. I do too.
She's got a heart of gold too.
Yes, she
I
does.
think you'll find that with a lot of people that are willing to defend what they've earned.
Yep.
They have hearts of gold too, and I don't know. We're pretty fortunate.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Well, thank you for coming today.
Yes, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on.
We're so excited to have another like strong female, and I love strong females. I just think that it's like we just need more of you, and I'm glad that
Right.
you're teaching others to do the same. So
Thank you.
Keep it
Well,
on.
yeah, it's fun. It's we have a community of them, so it's fun to be a part of.
Leading by example. There's nothing better.
And we will post on our Facebook, Kiss My Chaos Facebook group, all of the links that you had mentioned.
Yes,
So
thank you.
I will have her send them over to me so I can get those up. So if you guys need any resources or you want to know the dates of these events that are happening, if you would like to check them out, we strongly encourage you to do so because, I mean, I just want to go and watch. I won't be able to be there on the 26th, but I think I'm going to come take a class and just see what it's all about.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you should look
Cool.
forward to it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to come and watch too.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
No,
well, I hope to see both of you there.
Okay. I'm out.
Bye.
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 You've been listening to the Kiss My Chaos podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we speak with some of the most intriguing people about their journey from trauma to triumph. If you find yourself in mental crisis, please seek professional medical help immediately.